Okay.
So I really have a target about what I want to. I don't want to waste the day.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I'll see how I can help in that. Okay, so we're going to be talking about functions in Python today. So let me share my screen and then we take it up from there.
Your voice is cracking.
You said?
Your voice is cracking. Not clear.
Oh, it's network. I said and we're going to be talking about functions in Python today. Okay, and then so let's see how that goes. And then from there we'll talk about data structure and go to OOP, right? Okay, functions in Python. So like I will always say, I'll give you a background of what is function. Then um we can now talk about the coding aspect. So take for example, I you are doing something manual. Okay, you are doing something manual. Okay, so maybe you are producing pure water, so you are sealing the mouth with yourself. You pour water into the nylon, you are you now seal it with the machine and then arrange it inside the bag. That is manual operation. You are the one involved. Automation comes in when it is the machine that is doing the work. Okay, automation comes in when it is what? It is you that is doing the work. All right. So and when it's machine that is doing the work, and so when how do we now link it to what is it called, to Python, I mean to functions in Python. So how the role that they play is this. So instead of you repeating the same process by yourself, you can automate that task using functions. So instead of you to be doing it the same way every day, every time, Python can do the same thing in multiple times with one line of code. That's what we are saying. So how does that happen? Let's check. Okay, let's sorry, my VS Code is not sharing. um, so functions is a reusable block of code. Functions are a reusable block of code. And what does it mean? It means that you can write a code once and reuse it as many times as possible. Okay, so if you have a code that respond or perform a particular operation, let's say you are adding variables together, for example. Why is this thing not showing? I'm coming, so let me share my the ID. Let me close it and open it again. Okay. His name is Thank you, Manuel. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Okay, so um, functions. Okay. All right. So now let us now let us now share. I think please confirm you can see my screen, and then let's go into it.
No, not yet.
Check again. You should see now.
Okay. Yes.
Can you see now? Yeah. Hello.
Okay, yes, I can see the screen now.
All right. So I said that Python functions in Python is when you have a reusable block of code, and I try to explain by saying that when instead of you to repeat yourself, okay, you can have a block of code that you are called to do that task every time. So let's start from the very basics. All right, let's start from the very basics. I want to write a code, a program that tell people what to do, or I want to add two numbers, for example, and I do something like this. I'll have a variable a. Okay, I'll have variable a equal to what, 5, right? And then variable b equal to 6, and then I want to add them. So I have variable c, and I'll say a plus b, right? So this is just a basic. So we say a plus what, plus b, like this. Now instead of me repeating and writing this line of code, I can just write a single line of code that perform this task. How do I do it? So I will come and then write what we call the def keyword, like this. So the def keyword is a keyword you use to tell Python that you want to write a function. And remember that Python is a functional programming language, meaning that whatever you write is in functions. Your classes and method, your method is in function, right? You use your def keyword for your method, and when we get to OOP, I will discuss more of that. But don't forget the part I said that Python is a functional programming language, right? Now that we've been able to explain that, so we have the def keyword. So the next thing that will follow is the name of our function. So in this case, we want to add a value, right? So we'll put add like this. Okay, and then inside this parenthesis, now we will now declare a parameter. What is a parameter? Think of a parameter like you want something that you can, instead of changing the main thing, you can only change the value. Okay, you want to add a cup here, so that I'm using a simpler for you to understand now. So let's say you want to keep adding water to a cup. So you don't remove the cup. What do? You put the cup here so that you can always add water to the cup. Okay, so that is what we are saying. So here we are now saying that I will now put a here, and then I'll do comma b here, right? And then I'll now do something like this. So this is what we call a parameter. Okay, so we are not supposed to come here yet, but then let me just lay that foundation. So if I want to use this function add, now I will add a parameter, and then I want to now add these two values. All right, these two variables. So what do? I can have a variable here, and I'll call it result, and then I'll say equal to a, then plus b. So these are what? Variable. Now a function cannot work on its own. What did I say, sir?
A function cannot work.
A function cannot work on its own. So for a function to work, you have to call it. You have to call it to work. All right. So how do you now call a function? You call a function by the function name. Okay. So if I come here now and then announce something like, okay, def add, and I provided a parameter, and then inside that function I want to add two numbers. So for me to now make this function to work, I will print this result inside this. I'll come to that aspect later on. So I will print this result inside the function. So inside this function, I will say print, and then I'll add like this. Sorry, I'll add a result inside like this, and then let us now go and call the function. So I'll come here, and then I'll call the function by providing add, and then now Remember that I'm using A, B, C, D, which are not numbers, and I've not assigned any values to them. That is why I call it parameter. Because I've not assigned any value to them, at the point of calling my function, I will need to provide a value. This is where we talk about argument. All right. So a function and argument, a parameter is what you want to be, is the space you provided. All right. While the argument is the value you provided at the point of calling your function. Is that point clear?
Yes.
What did I say? What do you understand by that?
That parameter and
What do you understand by that? Hello, can you hear me? Oh God. Hello, Dami, can you there? Oh, he has gone. He has gone. So let me give him a wait for him. Thank you so much, Manuel. Thank you so much, Favor. Thank you, Sunday Joy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please like my video, share, and subscribe. Please, thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, I appreciate. So function is one of the interesting thing that you can always work with. Okay, function is very interesting. Oh, very interesting. All right. So it helps you to have an organizational code. All right, Python helps you to have a well organized code, and it also helps in improving readability. So how this works is you can, because you have functions in place, it is easy for any person to read and understand. All right. So, and that is why we said that Python is not difficult for anybody to understand, because whatever you are, whoever you are, you can easily understand Python. All you need is attention and commitment. If you can give this, you will understand it. Okay. So, but if you are writing a programming language like Java, it demands more than that. All right. You need to do it over and over and over. All right. And pay attention to every single detail of the error you are getting. Okay. So that is that about Python. So calling a function, so a function does not work on its own. A function has to be called, it has to be evoked. Okay, so until you invoke the function, it is not going to work. It is going to just be like a keeper. Okay, or let's call it a dog that you keep somewhere. All right. So until you call that dog cannot act even when he's seeing something going wrong. Okay. So that is how a function is, and that is very key, because you would want to call it at a point that is necessary, at a point that is useful, at a point that you want to make use of it. All right. So that's that. Oh God, bro has gone offline, and okay. So yeah, so in this project I'm going to be building a school system as part of the demo for the students, for the for the functions in Python. So in case you are interested in learning Python or you want to learn data science, so this particular course I'm discussing is a Python for data science class for the next 12 weeks. All right, that's the next 3 months. And yeah, so that's what the class that is currently going on. If you are interested, you can send me an email and I will respond as quickly as possible and get you set up. Okay, yeah, it's not costly. Okay, so there's what we call modular programming. Modular programming is where you have each of your code separated. Okay, so you can have your functions separated but all working together. Okay, so this is a paid class. I can't display it on YouTube. You can only hear the theory aspect, but if you are very much interested, my doors are open, right? And I'll be happy to provide you with the resources you need to write your code. Okay, Mr. Dami. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You are helping me to grow, right? You are helping me to grow, and then you are helping me to reach more people. I will be very grateful. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share my videos. All right, I do nothing here. My love for programming is what drives me here. Okay, I love programming. When I wake up, that's what I want to do. Okay, that's what I want to write code. Okay, and this is what has brought me here thus far. So yeah, it's beneficial. Okay, to write code. I love writing code. So please share my video, like my video, and yeah. Okay, Mr. Dami. Can I call this guy? Let me try and call him. Where is it? I'm trying to call him. He has gone offline. It's either his battery is off, and that is why I'm building a mobile app. This is a secret now. I'm building a mobile app for learners, so you don't need to worry about network. You don't need to worry about anything. All you need is just log in and learn. Okay, and so you don't have to have issues with network. Okay, so since this is the issue, I'm going to now record the course and then push it. Okay, so you can just keep hearing me. Okay, Oga, Alpha.
My song finished. I'm just trying to resolve.
Okay. So how many minutes should I wait for you?
In 2 minutes time.
Okay. So it's one of the things of learning to program. Okay. Learning to program is not a day job. You have to commit to it. Learning to program is not something you say, let me do it today and do it again next week. No, it takes time, it takes commitment, it takes effort. So if you want to grow and learn, You don't just say, let me do it today, tomorrow. No, you have to learn. You have to grow with it. All right. You have to learn and grow with it, because don't say you just want to learn. No, you don't just to. You have to be committed to it. Okay, you can't do anything. You can't work with something you don't understand. Okay, so you can't work with something you don't understand. So you can only work with something you understand. Something you understand, you can easily work with it. But if you don't understand anything, you can't work with it. So you need to understand, you need to work, you need to know how it works to be able to build something out of it. You can't build a banking mobile app if you don't understand the problem the banking is having. All of these are data, all right, and they are very, very important. Okay, they are very important. So please understand that it takes time. Growth takes time. Anybody that promise you to become a pro, that can do anything you are asked to in programming in just 2-3 months, you can get the foundation, but you can't get the core. The core comes from the error, the mistakes you have made. Okay, and you need to now have that understanding within. Okay, all right, so let's go back to it. Okay, so can you see the screen? Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen. All right.
Okay, so let's go with it. All right. Okay, so let's go. Now, I was talking about, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen.
All right. So I was talking about how you do function, and I said that functions are reusable block of code. Here we are trying to perform the operation of adding two numbers, and then at the point of calling, you need to provide what we call the argument. And I said that the argument is the value you provide at the point of calling your function. All right. So that value you provide at the point of calling your function is what we call the argument. So here, I will not be coming here and type A, B, C, D again. What do? I will just type, let's say I want to add 4, 5, right? I want to add these two numbers. So that is how you call your function. Here we have declared a function, provide a parameter, and then inside the function we are providing a variable that holds the operations. Okay, this is an expression, if you remember what I said earlier. Okay, and then we are printing
A, B is the parameter.
Yes, A and B are parameters. So yes, is an argument. And then here now I will now be able to tell you about global variable and local variable. What did I say? Global variable and local variable. So a global variable is a variable you use outside of the function. So if for example I want to have C, for example, and I add C here, for example, and okay, so I'll remove this. Oh, carry away. Okay, so here I will have variable C now, and then I want to assign a variable, so global variable and local variable. Pay attention. So here I'll now provide 7 to it. Now I want to now use this variable, this variable outside is called what?
The variable outside
is called, the variable outside of a function is called global variable. So we call it global because it's not inside the function. So this is a global variable, and then because it's a global variable, I can come here and then I want to still add it here. All right, so I can use a global variable inside a function like this. Okay, but then it is not ideal. So a local variable is this result. The function the variable you create inside your function is what we call what? A local variable. Do you understand, sir?
Yes.
Can you differentiate them for me?
The variable that you use, that you call
Okay.
after the function is local, but the one you call outside, the function is global variable.
All right.
But when you call the function, then the variable after the function is local variable.
All right. So the variable outside of a function is called a global variable. The variable inside the function is a local variable. So that variable that is inside the local variable cannot be used by any other function class, or anything can use that function and use a local variable. But a global variable can be used. All right. A global variable can be used by anybody. And that is why it is not ideal, because if your function is if your variable is going to do something very significant, you cannot afford it to put it outside of a function. Do you understand? Now that we've been able to call our function, so because we are adding a print here which return the result, we don't need to print this. Okay. And now remember when I said that Python is a reusable block of code, right? So instead of me to just say I want to add another numbers. Okay, I want to add another. Okay, let's run this code. Let it run first. Okay, then we come back to it. So okay, B is not defined. Where are you seeing B? Oh, okay, you're seeing it from outside. So let's comment this out. You're seeing it as a global variable. So
yeah, how do you comment out?
Okay, you press your control key and then with a slash, your slash, the question mark slash. Yes, the question mark button before shift around your 4 arrows. Have you seen it?
Yes, control and slash.
Yes. So this is how you can comment your code. Then so let us now run this code to see what our functions will return to us. So we run it Python variable. Okay. Where are you seeing this? Okay. So let's remove this. And then let's run again. So you can see that it's bringing 16 for us. Okay. Why? Because we are adding what? We are adding 4 plus what? 4 plus 5 plus 7. So you can see it's bringing now this 16. So this is the difference between a local variable and a what? A global variable. If that point is clear, and you can see how we are calling this function. Now I can keep calling this function with different values. Okay, so here I can see I want to add. Okay, I want to add, and then I can change the number. This time I want to add 6. Okay, I want to add 9. All right, and then I can also add another one. This time I don't want to add I want to add another number. So I can keep calling this singular function over and over with different thing I want to do. All right, so this is why we call it reusable. You write it once, you call it as many times as you want. Is that point clear?
Yes.
Okay. So if I ask you to write a function that because we are going to build a project today, so that's what I'm asking now. You are going to build a learning management that adds students and all of that after this class. So because remember, it's a project-based class, all right? So this is how you keep calling the function, and this is how you prepare the parameter, and then prepare the what? And you call the what is it called? Parameter. You provide the parameter and provide the value. Okay. This is how you provide the parameter. This is how you provide the value. Okay. Do you understand now? All right. Yes. So this is the parameter. This is the argument. which is the value you provide at the point of calling your function. All right, so that is it. Any question? Can I continue? Okay, I can continue.
So is it just because C, that global variable C equals to 7?
Yes. So C equals to, so you can remove C at any point. Okay, and I said that don't rely on global variables. Okay, don't rely on global variables. So like I told you yesterday, what you write will determine the program, the program that you are going to write. Okay, what you are building rather, okay, what you are building will give birth to how you write your program. Okay, so every line of code is achieving a particular task. All right, so don't rely on global variable. Use local variable more often. So once this code executes, the global variable is no longer is no longer relevant until this function run again, until this function get called again. Okay, but you can always use this function, you can always call this function from anywhere. All right. Okay, do you have a question?
No, not yet.
Okay, so let's shoot. Now let's continue. Now that we've been able to understand that aspect, now if I want to return a string now, okay, so I want to return a string, and then so I want to talk about using keyword and the rest of them. Okay, keyword. How do I do it? Okay, let me explain it like this. So I'm going to create another function. So let's create another function like this. Okay, so now this function, I want to demo how you can use what is it called? You can use your return keyword. Okay, so in Python, the return keyword is used within a function. Okay, so you want to return a particular value back to the caller, and then it allows you to pass result from a function for further use in your code. All right, so but how it work basically is this. So when you now run your code and it gets to return statement, it return. So like this example that we did here, you can see that we are printing. So instead of printing, we can say it should return. Okay, we can say it should return result. Okay, return result like this. Sorry, it should return result like this. Okay, so instead of printing, we can ask it to return result. And if we run it, let's run it and see. If we run it, you can see, so you can see that nothing gets printed to the console. Can you see?
Yes.
Nothing gets printed to the console, because when you are using a return keyword, what it does is to just return the value, and for you to print the value, you need to print the object. I mean, sorry. Okay, you need to print your function name. All right, so instead of printing our function name, we can also assign a variable for it. So if we say C equal to add like this, and let's print C to know what happened to C. Okay, so if we print C like this and we run our code again like this, okay, so let's see what happens. So you can see that the result gets returned to us, right? So this is how we can use the return keyword. Okay, so again, I repeat myself, the return keyword, what it does is it return the result. Okay, what you need to get it returned. And we can also remove this and bring the total here, whatever we have here, we can bring it like this, remove it here, cut it, and give it to the return keyword to return it like this. We can do it like this. Okay, we can do it like this, and then so by so doing we will remove the variable. Okay, we'll remove the variable like this. All right, can you see what I'm doing? Yes, we can do it like this. So instead of say creating another variable, we can just return the operation or the expression like this. Okay, and then we can just remove our local global variable, and then let's run it. Okay, and you can see that it's giving us 9, because 5 plus 4 will always give us 9. Okay, so this is how the return keyword is. Do you have question on that?
I'm still trying to explain it.
Okay, so what I just did now is returning what? Returning A plus B, which is the multiple values. Okay, you can remember, you see that we have A, B, and there are values for it. So it's returning multiple values. Okay, so and then if we also want to yeah, so that is it basically. So we are returning the result of A and B. Okay, and then we can also provide a variable that holds the value, which I've also explained. Then we can also return multiple value. Okay, so we'll get to keyword argument and all of that very soon. Okay, so but just stay with me, all right. So there are also situations where we create a list. For example, we can have a list, okay, or a dictionary, and we can ask the function to return it. The function can return a dictionary, a list. So if we have a list, for example, we can specify a list, a dictionary, and inside the dictionary, dictionaries are key value pair. All right, so we'll discuss data structure tomorrow. Okay, so dictionaries are key value pair. So where we have the key is name. Okay, the key is name, like this, name. Oh, sorry. The key is name like this. Okay, and the value is John. Okay, and the value is John. All right, so this is what a key value pair. All right, so we can return it like this. Okay, and you can have it as many as you want. So you can also provide a list in your return keyword. Okay, you can provide a list to your return keyword, and when you call your function, okay, it provides it. All right, so this is how you can use the return keyword in your function. Can I continue, sir? Sir?
I'm confused with that return. How to put a dictionary in return.
Oh, okay. So here is a dictionary. I've removed the parameter because it's asking for the parameter. It's saying that there is a name error, that name John is not defined. So I cannot provide the parameter and then I'm returning a dictionary. So that's why I remove the parameter. So if I'm going to call the function now, I can just remove this, okay, and then print C, then comment this out like this. Okay. Oh yes, so it has to be in a quote like this. Okay, so we have name and then we have the value, right, like this. Okay, so when we run it, you can see this is what is returning for us. Okay, can you see now?
Yes, it just returned the.
Yes, the dictionary. Don't worry, we'll talk about dictionary, and then I also when we are talking about dictionary, we will build a project that will be reading from dictionary. So I will explain more on what is returning and all of that. Okay. All right. So that is it about dictionary. So it can also return a list. I've said that. So you can specify your list like this, a square bracket, and then provide your value inside the list like this. Okay, and then when you provide your value inside the list like this, then when you call your value, it returns whatever is inside your list. All right, so this is it. Is that point clear? All right, so if it is clear, let's continue. So now I've been able to explain parameter, argument, and
I don't know if this thing, your voice is cracking.
I think it's network.
It's not clear. Yeah.
It's network. My voice is loud and clear. All right. You said what?
You can hear very well.
Yes. So what I'll do is after today I'll put the code back. I'll push the code to the classroom so that you can go and copy and get it and get the video from there. So, and if you have question, please use the message and I will respond to it. All right. So here we have I've provided the parameter, provided the argument, and then explain the return keyword. So now this is foundational because you cannot build anything without understanding this key. And I've also explained a global variable and a local variable. Okay. Now what about in a situation where we want to get a particular, okay, let's say a function is collecting all the information about somebody. Let's say a name, address, location, a village, where he has lived, how many children, is he married. You cannot have all of this inside your parameter. So inside your parameter, for you to have all of this, you will need to create what we call keyword argument. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. So you need to put what we call keyword argument. All right. So you cannot have all of this information inside your parameter. It will be too long and bulky. So for you to have a multiple parameter is what I want to explain next. All right. Is that point clear?
Yes.
How do you see the class? Are you enjoying it?
Yes, I'm enjoying it, but it's just the voice that is cracking. It's slow and I can't.
I think it's your network.
Maybe.
All right. Okay. Let me look at a real life situation. So I will use the example I just I just made now. So we are going to create a function that takes people's information. All right. So that function is going to use what is it called? So its argument we need to explain now. So now let's go. So the first thing I want you to know is, let's say we are getting the information of somebody. Okay. We want a function to welcome somebody. Okay, and tell the person his information, and then tell the person you are welcome. So we comment this out, and then I'll come here and I'll do def, and then I'll say intro. Let's call it intro, and then I'll provide. So let's say I want to get the name, the age, the location, the city. These are all the information I want to get, but I can't have all of that in the parameter. It will be too bulky. Okay, it will be too bulky, and because of that, I will need to have what streamline it, what makes it simple. Okay, so that at the point of calling the function is where I provide all the needed information, instead of just bombarding by parameter with everything: name, location, age, child, marriage status, whatever, relationship status, and everything that you want to have inside your parameter. You can provide it at the point of calling your function. So how do we do that? So, but then you already understand that I've already laid a foundation that your parameter is like a variable that you are going to provide at the point of calling your function, right? So now what we need to do now is I want to now create what we call default value argument. Okay, so now I want to do something. Now look at it very carefully. So here I want to assign the name, and I will say the name is equal to John. Please pay attention. I want to assign and I will say the name is John, right? And then the city, okay, like this, okay, and then I'll come here, and then I want to return, remember our return keyword, or I can okay, I want to return this in a formatted string, okay. I want to return this in a format string like this. So I want to say, hello John, how are you doing today? Can you tell me your age and city? So that's what I want to do. So I will say, hello John. Hello John. So remember what we did? So you can call your this thing, and then I'll say name. Okay, I'll call the name variable, and then I'll say, how are you doing today? Oh, sorry. Can you hear me loud and clear, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. How are you doing? How are you doing today? Right? How are you doing today? Can you tell me your name? Can you tell me your age and location? So, can you tell me your what? Your age and location. And location like this. Okay. Oh, sorry, city, not location. City. Okay. Do you understand this now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, one thing you must know is, look at what I did here. This is what we call a default parameter. A default parameter is a parameter that you have declared with a value already provided for it, so that at the point of calling the function, you can either decide to provide another thing, or it will carry the same thing that was there already. Do you understand what I just said?
Okay. The default parameter.
Yes, I said that the default parameter is a parameter you declare with the value already provided in your parameter, so that at the point of calling the function, you don't need to provide another value again, but what you have already provided becomes the value. So even if at the point of calling your function you decide to provide another value, it doesn't negate, it doesn't remove the one that you have already provided in your parameter. So I'm saying that the name should be equal to John, and then I want to call the function. I can decide to change the name to Mike at the point of calling the function, but if I do not provide any other name, the John will still remain the John as the name. Do you understand?
Okay, but if you provide another name, it should take that name.
Yes, if I provide, let's do it. So, but then your default parameter is the parameter that must come last. So you cannot start your parameter with the default parameter. So at the last end here is where you put your parameter. Can you see what I'm doing? You can see. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making this class easy for me. So you can see at the end here, I'm now putting the parameter. So you cannot have your parameter at the beginning of your parameter. So put your parameter at the end, so that you won't run into an error. So Python does not allow that. Okay, there is a way, there is a reason Python is structured the way it is. It is for readability, so that it shouldn't be complex. All right, so don't build something that is complex. Simplicity is everything. Anyway, let's go back. So now we want to call this function, and then let's see what we got. So at the point of calling this function intro, right? So let's create a variable. I'll just create a variable x, and then I'll say intro. Okay, intro like this, and then I'll provide the value. So the age, all right, the age I'll say 13 or 12. The city I'll say Lagos. Okay, let's make the city, or let's call it India. Okay, or Lagos, anywhere. Let's leave it at Lagos. Okay, the city of this great name. All right, Lagos, and then the name. So now, if I do not provide any value here, the code will run. Okay, the code will run. Oh, sorry, we need to print x to get our value. So let's print x. Okay. So let's print x. So if we print x like this and we run our code like this, all right. So you can see our code gets run even though we did not provide the value for name. Why? Because it's a default value. The value is already provided. It's pre-provided. Anyway, the name is already provided, so you don't need to provide anything extra. So here we are saying that, hello John, how are you doing today? Can you tell me your name, your age and location, right? So this is what we are returning. And because we already have a default parameter, we don't need to provide any other thing. Sir, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. So I've explained that there is parameters, there is a default parameter. Now that the default parameter is cleared, we can now proceed to now look at other when you are passing an argument by keyword. Passing argument by keyword. Please work with me. I've explained parameter. Now I've also explained default value parameter. Now I want to explain how to pass an argument by keyword. Okay, how to pass an argument by what? By keyword. So remember what we are doing here. We are providing a name for a name that already exists. Now at the point of also calling your function, you can provide you can pass an argument by keyword to it. Okay, how do we do that? So let's go. Now I can come here and call the function again. So let's call the function again, and this time I want to provide a value for city. Okay, I'll say intro like this, and then here I'll say, so the age is, let's make the age here 34, not 34, 34. All right. So and then here we want to provide the city. So city here. So now there is a reason you are passing an argument by keyword, and the reason is because instead of relying on the order of the argument, you can use keyword argument. You can use keyword argument. So the keyword argument is very relevant. Okay, so take for example so okay, this is what I'm saying. Let me explain, maybe after I've done that. So now you know that we have age, city and name. So I'm going to remove this and we'll just leave it as I'm going to remove this because I finished explaining that. I hope that point is clear. So now here, instead of me providing 12 Lagos, which is for age and city, I can come here and say age. I can say age equal to 34, and then I can say city equal to what? Equal to Las Vegas. I can do Las Vegas like this. Okay. This is what we call keyword argument. Okay. So passing your argument by keyword. This is how you can pass your argument by their keyword. So instead of saying age, you can instead of providing 34, which is for the age in the parameter, you can call the age and then do equal to and provide the value for it at the point of calling your function. Sir, do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand?
Yes, it's just this last sentence I'm trying to understand.
Okay.
Passing the keyword.
So when passing a keyword, you will need to understand that. Okay, let's do another example. So here I'm going to close this. Let's do another example so that you can drive home the point. So forget about this. So let's say this is for what? This is for argument. Okay, default argument. Now let's talk about how to provide keyword argument. So now I have a function def, and then this time I want to get information, so I'll call it info. And then in the parameter I have name and address, so I will say name. Okay, so I will say name and address like this. Name like this, and then comma address like this. And then now name comma address, right? So and then I'm returning the name and the address formatted, so like this. So and then I'm calling name, and then address like this. Okay, then I want to call the function. So now you recall that from what you've done so far, if you are calling a function, you need to provide a value at the point of calling the function. But here we are not just providing, we are providing with keyword. So here we are saying info, okay, and then we are saying name equal to dummy. Remember, originally I can just come here and say dummy, which will be for the name, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm saying that we can use keyword, and you may wonder, why is this important? Why is it relevant? This is very important because there are situations where you want specificity. Okay? So when you are dealing with functions that need flexible key value input, okay? Do you understand? So this is very, very interesting. This is very, very necessary in a situation where you want a default value provided. Okay? So instead of relying the order of your argument, you can use keyword argument. Alright? So remember that here, if we provide dummy, we are relying on our argument here. But the moment we say name, okay, the moment we say name and we say equal to dummy, so we are no longer relying on the order of what? Our parameter here. We are now relying on the value. Okay? So, and then if we put address here, for example, okay, and then we say equal to Bangladesh, like this. Okay? So if we do it like this, so this is what we call keyword argument.
It works more when we have many.
Yes,
many
yes,
parameters.
yes. We'll get to that. So it works if you have different parameters. Okay? So I'm giving you this foundation because as I'm going now, I want you to understand that we are now going to do two other aspects of this parameter and argument thing. All right? My water has finished. I need water. All right. So let's say we say address equals to Bangladesh, and we'll provide value like this. So, and when we run our, let's say we provide a variable C like this, and we say equal to, so we can come down and print the value C, print the value C like this, okay? And when we run it, okay, so it's going to give us dummy Bangladesh. Why? Name and city. Okay, now I've explained argument, keyword argument, parameter, passing keyword as a parameter. Now what happens if we want to get multiple information? Okay, so this is where we now talk about arbitrary argument. So an arbitrary argument happens in a situation if you don't know how many arguments to be passed. In a situation where you don't know how many argument to be passed into the function, you can use what we call arbitrary argument. And what is arbitrary argument? Arbitrary argument happen in a situation where you have too many parameters that will be passing, but you don't know how many. It can be as 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 100. So, but because you don't know how many will be passed, what you use in such a situation is what we call arbitrary argument. Sir, when we say something is arbitrary, what are we saying?
Like, it's used most time, every time, often.
Okay. All right. So when something is arbitrary, it means you are stepping out of bound. Am I correct? Yes, I should be correct. So let me quickly check. Arbitrary. Yes, no. Arbitrary laws. I'm correct. Okay. Let's go. Yeah. Yes, based on random choice or whims rather than any reason or system. Okay. So unrestrained. So in a situation where you don't know how many arguments to be provided, how many parameters to be provided, you will use what we call arbitrary argument. All right. You use what we call arbitrary argument. And I said that this is very, very important because you cannot say, if you are collecting people's student information, for example, and you want to get every of their information from name, age, location, parent phone number, result, first term result, second term result, and every other details you want about your student. You cannot just create all of that inside one single parameter. So that is where arbitrary argument comes in. So here I'm now going to create an arbitrary function now. So where I'll say let's call it def. Oh god, I want this thing again. So let's call it def. All right, and then let's create a function that sum a total number of a value. Okay, so I'll say def, and then I'll now call the name let's call it sum total, sum underscore total, like this. Okay, and then inside here is where the arbitrary argument will happen. So I've not taught you tuple, so that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. We'll be talking about data structure tomorrow. All right, so I now come here and now say number or num, then I put asterisk. Okay, I put asterisk like this. So by me putting asterisk, what am I saying? I'm saying that this should be what? This should be what's the keyword? This should take as many number as possible. Okay?
You should what?
It should take as many numbers as possible.
Number, okay.
All right? It should take as many as possible. That is why we are having this asterisk here. So this is how to declare arbitrary parameter. So in a situation where you don't know how many parameters can be provided, use this method. Okay? Use this method. All right? Can I continue, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Now that I've said that, so now let's now begin to so I'm going to return this number. Okay, return number. Who is greeting me? You have to hold on, I'll reply after my class. So now we are now going to provide as many numbers inside this arbitrary parameter we just declared. So now let's now call the function. So remember, we want to calculate the sum total of the number that is provided into this variable. Okay, Just a second, please. Let me check some. Okay. Anyway, let's continue to work. Okay. So now I want to do something so that there is a mathematical method called the sum. Okay, we need to wrap our number inside the sum method so that it can sum all the numbers together. So we'll call the sum total sum like this, sorry, the sum like this, and we wrap it inside so that it will sum all the numbers that are inside this number parameter. Okay, and then when we want to now, what we want to now do is we'll call the function, so I'll call it sum total. Okay, and then I'll now provide arguments. So now I can, sir?
Yes. I say we provide the arguments.
Yes. So we need to now provide arguments. So here I can do 1, 2. You can even provide anything you like. So it can be as many as possible. 2, 5, 4, 7. You can do any. Hey, are you serious right now? So, 4, 5. Like this. Anything you want, just put. As long as you have your, what is it called? Okay, like this, and it can keep as many. And when we run, let's give it a variable and print the variable. So we have C equal to, and then we print C. Let's print C like this. Okay, let's print C. His name is Jehovah, a young breaker. Okay, so can you see the result?
Yes.
So that is what arbitrary argument does. Okay, where you can put as many as you want. Okay, so nobody stops you, nothing stops you. And this is not because I'm using sum here. All right, this is not because I'm using sum here. I can choose to bring the sum inside this argument itself. It will still work. All right, but if I say info here, I can still come here and change everything, and then I will start providing all the information. Okay, shebi I put sum here. Now if I remove it, and I provide string values, for example, okay, and I provide string value instead of this integer, or even if I leave it like this, I'm still going to get result, but it won't be summed together.
Yeah.
Okay,
it won't be summed.
yes, the sum will just add everything together and give you the final result.
So bring it out.
Everything, yeah, but the sum will calculate everything together.
Okay, we can do this with a string too.
Yes. So I don't have strength for what is it called. So if we come here and I do something like this, and I bring it, okay, and I add it like this, and I do a comma, okay. So now it's throwing an error. Why is it throwing an error? So you cannot have a positional argument. Okay, you cannot have a positional argument after keyword argument. You will run into an error. Positional, this is what we did now. So here, let me just provide dummy and then put a comma like this, and then I'll do the same here, and then remove this, and the error will go. The error has gone. Are you seeing? So this is how it works. All right, let's wrap it around string because it's a string. So you can add a string, you can add integer as long as, but your data type, please don't miss it. Most errors are data types. You want to have, remember this is a tuple. You remember, look at the result is given to us, is wrapped in a what? In a bracket, in a parenthesis. Okay? So you must know that. All right? Your result will come in a tuple. We'll discuss tuple tomorrow, and then we'll talk about tuple unpacking and the rest of them. Do you understand me, sir? Can we continue, sir?
Yes.
All right. So let's write. So we have now done with this is how to write your argument. Okay. So in a situation where you don't know how many arguments to be provided, this is what you should do. Now let's continue. Now, there's what we call keyword argument also. The keyword argument allow you to pass an arbitrary number of keywords. Okay? So just like I did the other time and it was throwing an error, let me go there. Okay? So just like I did the other time and it was throwing an error, I can do the same thing by, so let's do Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Aha. So this was throwing error, right? But the moment I change this from one asterisk to double asterisk like this,
Yes.
the error will be gone. Okay? The error will be gone. Tanilele. So the error will be gone. Okay? So now I will need to now remove all of this because I don't have the time to provide all of the keyword. So I can do something like this. So this is what we call keyword argument. The first one we talk about is arbitrary argument. This is a keyword argument. So where you are providing each argument with their keyword. So you can create an input function. So where users are asked to enter their information, and you can map each of them to their name. Eh?
Because of the double asterisk.
Yes.
You can do that with the double asterisk.
Yes. So now name Dami, address Bangladesh, name Isa, age 25. Okay. Sorry, give me a sec. Let me do something. So, and this is also useful when dealing with functions that need flexible keyword. Okay. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say we have something like this. I'm coming. Let me reply this motherfucker. Oh, I'm online. Sorry. Okay. His name is Jehovah. I am Breaker. Now, so if we are going to collect users' information, for example, okay, How do I do it? I want to prompt users, and this may they ask us to go and be writing long code. How do I shorten this? Um, how do I do this? How do I do this? Anyway, but you understand what I've been saying, right?
Yes.
So now I've been able to explain parameter, argument, keyword argument, arbitrary argument. So that is it basically. Okay, that is it basically. That is everything about function. All right. So what we want to do now, we want to build a project. Okay, we want to build a project, and then we'll now call it a wrap. Okay. Now we want to build something that a feature that allow us to collect sorry, we want to build something that allow us to get. Yes.
If you print this this code now, what will you bring us? Just the information.
Yes, now let's print C. It will return the same value now. Let's run it to return whatever we have there. So let's build name. Name is having issue. Repeated. Okay, the name is repeated. Oh, sorry. You see, that's why Python is so beautiful. It say, come as you are. I love you. I will take care of you. So you can see we have it repeated, and it's telling us that we have a repeated variable, and then argument. Okay, so it will return whatever we had. So you can see. Okay, and everything in a dictionary. Name, key value pair. Can you see? All right. So this is how to write Python. So let's build a project now. So please, tomorrow we are going to be talking about data structure. How to data structure. We'll be talking about dictionary, list, tuple, set, and the likes. All right. So please, so let's wrap it up here with a project. So what we are going to build is we are going to build a project, and that is student management project that allow us to create a function that handle different tasks like adding students, showing how many students have registered. So how do we do that? Now, so let's understand. So the first thing we need is we want to get the student name, the student age, the student grade, right? What other information can we get from a student, for example?
Telephone, email.
Okay, telephone, email. So let's go. So we can come here and do something like this. So now let's create the function. Even if from nothing gets printed, so let's continue. So we'll do def, and we call it student underscore info, student underscore info, and then we provide a parameter, and inside the parameter we can now use any of the ones that we've discussed so far, either keyword argument, arbitrary argument. So which one should we go with? Let's go with the arbitrary argument, since we don't know how many information we need from the student. So we'll do arbitrary argument like this, and then we'll call it info like this. Now once we've done this, the next thing is we want to get what and what again? The name of the student, right? Now, so for us to do this, we will need to append. All right. So now let us, because we need to create a structure, a data structure for storing the student information. What we're going to do is we are going to create a list. All right. So how do we do that? So for us to do that, let me remove this. Permit me, please. Okay. So let's just use the normal parameter. So we say name, age, location, like this. Name, age, location, let's say location is fine, parent name, let's say parent name, and let's stop there. Okay, and you can add as many as possible. Now we need to now create a list that this data will be stored in. So what do? Remember we have our student information variable. Okay, I mean, sorry, the function name. So what we'll do is we'll now create a list. Okay, and then we can now append it to it. So permit me please. So I'll come here and I'll do student like this. Okay, now this parameter is what I want to use to append. So I'll do a student like this, student, and then I'll do dot append. I'll do dot append like this, and then the dot append is a built-in method that is used in list data structure. We'll talk about that tomorrow. So I'll call the dot append method, and then I'll now specify. Okay, so I'll now specify what I want to append to what. So if the student provide the name should be append to the what, to the name. So let's do it. All right, so we can now do student.append, and then let me even make it a dictionary. Let's make it a dictionary, or we can even make it a list. Anyway, any which one we use is fine. So let's just do it name, age, grade. Okay, and then what parameter? Okay, name, age, grade, location. Okay, grade is not here yet. So let's do something like this. So I can you see my screen, sir? Please confirm. So let's say grade. Hello, Mr. Dami, are you with me?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, all right, awesome. So we do grade.
Yes, I'm
okay, so name will be equal to name like this. Why are you saying it's not close? Are you not close? Okay, let's wrap it inside a dictionary so that it will be key value pair like this. Oh, sorry. Okay, it will be key value pair like this. Okay, now we have made it a name will be equal to name, age will be equal to age, grade will be equal to grade, and then location, let's add location again. So we say location like this. Okay, yay. Please, in case I forget, we'll talk about lambda function. All right, so we say location like this. Okay, location, and we say it should be location, and then this is what I was saying earlier. So we say parent name, or let's just write parent. Okay, you have parent like this, parent, and then the value should be provided as parents like this. Okay, all right, so this is it. Okay, this is it. Name, age, grade, location, parent, and then like this. Now we have now been able to append each parameter to their parameter, so that at the point of calling the function we'll be able to provide it. And I said that this append method is what you use to add. Is the method add. It's a built-in method from Python that you can use to add a new anything new that you want to add. Now we want to return the name of the student. We will now say student name has been written successfully. Or what should we return? What do you think we can return here? What can we return here? Yeah, if you're listening to me online and you're following, you can suggest for me. Yeah, what can we return?
student info.
Okay, student info. No, I want something that returns, that tell the user that your information has been saved successfully, or so not entirely everything. So let's give a format string like this and say your name. Let's say something like this, your, and we'll provide a curly brace, and we say name Oh no, name has been provided as is registered successfully. Okay, registered successfully like this. Is my successfully correct? Is my successfully correct?
Yes,
Anyway.
yes, correct.
Okay. All right. So this is what we want to return. Now, let us now go and build and call this method. We can decide to leave it like this, and we'll define another function. But let's go and call and build another function that show us all of this information that we have just entered. All right. So how do we do that? So based on what we've done so far, all we need is just provide we will use the variable. Now this is where the global variable and the local variable we discussed that time will work now. All right. So now I want to use the parameter here as I'm going to use the parameter here student. Okay. So let's come here and then I'll create another keyword and I'll call the function show students, show underscore students. All right, and then inside there, so I'm going to call this student. Remember that it is this student that is holding the variable, the whole data of the student from name, age, location, parent, grade. So it is this student parameter that is holding that data. So I can now call it inside the new function that I want to show the student. So I can come here and then I'll call it student like this. Okay. Now and then I want to now loop through this student parameter. Remember, it's a dictionary, so I want to loop through it so that I can get all the data that are there and then display it. Sir, do you understand what I'm saying? Are you with me?
Yes, I understand.
You understand?
I'm following.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
That is fine.
Okay. So wait, you are there with somebody?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So how do I do it? Yes, let's do it like this. Okay, so let's go. Now I'll come here and then I will now do something like this. Sorry. Let's do. So we'll now print the name, the student name. So now look at what's happening here. So remember, I am formatting it because I am inheriting from this name. I can append. This is another way of adding a new value to a list, to a dictionary. Remember, this is a dictionary. Our data structure that we are storing the student information is a dictionary. So inside the dictionary, we are calling the student variable that is holding the data of the student, and then we want to get the name, and that is why we are calling them by using the square bracket and provide the value we want to get from that dictionary. So we call student, provide the square bracket, and inside that square bracket we have the name, and then we have the age. Inside the student we have the age also. All right, then we have the grade, and we can also let's do for the parent, we can say student like this. Let's call it student. Get away. Okay, we do student. Sorry. Name, age, student, grade. Okay, grade. So let's do location and hey Sage man, hi, how are you? How are we doing? Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe and share my video. Thank you very much. This is a paid class, so please, if you want it, I can share my screen. This is a paid class, but if you are interested, I can share the link with you. Thank you so much. All right, thank you. Okay, so we have grade here, and then I can, so let's do for location. So I'll do location like this, and let me copy this. Sorry, I'll do location, And then inside this location, I'll now share, do what we called, I'll do something like this, and then I'll now provide the curly braces, and inside this curly braces I'll now provide the location. Are you seeing